guys who are watching this video before the second day of this 3-part learning segment that will end in a beautiful Earth Day project. Mixed media, recycled. Today is all about painting. So some of you have started painting, and so you'll grab your backgrounds off of the drying rack. Most of you will get your projects from your drawers, your pieces that you have cut. You will be getting a cup for water and various brushes like this. Take them back to your seat and you will get paints and a palette. First, I want you to start with painting your background. Just beware that part of it is going to be covered up by the glow, so if you have a part right here that you really like, if you want to lay your pieces on there first, where they're going to be, and trace them on there, that way you know which parts are going to be covered, you could do that. I do not want you to paint your background orange, and that's it, flat orange. This is the handout that I will be giving you at the beginning of today's lesson. If you refer to the rubric that I gave you at the beginning of lesson 1 and you look at criterion number 2, you will see that there are certain requirements that you need for the background. For the background, you need to use at least one tint of any color, one tone of any color, and one shade of any color. You also need to use at least 2 different brush strokes in your background, and I will be walking you through both of these things. In this part of the video, I will be showing you how to create tones, tints, and shades. So this is the pure color. And the first one that I do here is called a tint. It is when you mix any given color with the color white. Next, I demonstrate how to create a tone, which is when you mix any color with gray. And the last color of blue here is called a shade. It is when you mix black with any color. By doing this, you are doing what is called color mixing. And keep in mind that you do not have to do the tone, tint, and shade of the same color. You can do a shade of red, a tint of blue, and a tone of green. You can use whatever combination that you want. The other requirement for the background is that you use at least 2 different kinds of brush strokes. So here I'm just showing you a variety of different brush strokes. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You could use a bigger brush and do bigger brush strokes, and then a smaller one to do like swirly designs or wavy lines. It could be any of those, just as long as there's 2 different kinds of brush strokes. In this day, you are going to have about 15 minutes to be painting your background. You could have already started it the last lesson, but I know some of you didn't. But we also have to paint our globe and our hands today, so you'll have about 15 minutes to complete this task. So I am just kind of showing you how you could incorporate the color combinations as well as the different brush strokes into your background. So right here you can see that I'm adding a tint of blue. And then jumping ahead a little bit, I also added a tint of pink, and then there's a tone of green, and a shade of blue, and several different kinds of brush strokes. Next, you will start laying out your continents on your earth. So I want you guys to use your tablets and Google search illustration of earth. That way you guys can look at a picture of the earth and copy the continents onto your earth using a pencil. You will also have about 15 minutes to complete your painting of your earth this lesson. Still kind of accurate. See, I'm not going to jump on you if it's not totally accurate. I just want you to try a little. It's supposed to be Earth Day, so I want it to look like Earth. So this is North America right there. You guys to use blue and green. And see how my 2 different planets, they're different colors of blue and green. You can use whatever shade, tone, whatever colors of blue and green you want, as long as it's blue and green. As I stated, you will use 2 colors to paint your earth. You will pick a color of blue and a color of green, and you will fill in your water with the whatever color blue you choose, and then your continents with whatever color green. And here you can see I had to switch and get a smaller brush to go around my edges neatly of my continents. Then you're going to use your green to fill in your continents, and your earth, when you are done painting it, should look a little something along these lines. When you're painting your hands, you're going to use a dark color because you're going to be using a white paint marker that I'll give you to do designs on top of it. So they don't have to be pure black. They can be like dark purple or dark red, but they just have to be dark enough to where the white shows up nicely on them. See that nice contrast in there because they're black? And these ones I just did black for both of them. This task should take you like 5 minutes maximum, and I want you guys to lay down newspaper on your table so that you can paint your hands without getting paint all over the table. And as you can see, I'm using a very, very dark shade of red for these hands. You can use any color as long as it is dark enough to where white will show up very nicely on it, so I want it to be a shade of a color. So this is what your pieces should look like at the end of this second day. If you finish early, come see me. By the end of day 2, you should have all of your pieces painted. That is the main goal. I will see you guys in class.